Locally Vocal. I'm Holly McHugh with Socialight, and this is Barry Lewis Green with Epic Engage. And we're here with, I guess I'll let you do the introduction.
Yeah, well, we've got Jon and Sayed. Sayed, right?
Sayed, yeah, you
Sayed. With ibuylocal, and we're really excited about this conversation.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we get right to the chase, so I'm going to ask the guys here a little bit about themselves, because I know a little bit, enough to be dangerous, and I think Holly knows a little bit to be dangerous. Why don't you give us a quick insight into a little snippet of what ibuylocal is and what you guys are bringing to the table, and then we'll have a cool conversation about it.
So my name is Sayed. I'm an immigrant entrepreneur. I originally came from Bangladesh in St. John's 2013. I started my clothing company in 2016, which is Wildhood clothing. I'm the founder. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I run that company. And then I met this gentleman here, Jon, and we came up with the idea of ibuylocal.
So how did you guys connect first?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. So I've been kind of trying to figure out my way through a number of different businesses I've started over the last few years, and one specifically called LunchIn, healthy lunch delivery service in the city. And back in August, so Sayed and I met back in 2016, I guess, just when you started your business.
Yeah.
And really connected, cool story. We connected, and ever since we met, I had always wanted to do something together. I said, we're going to do something at some point. And you know, years pass on. Fast forward to August this last year, and I reached out to Sayed because I wanted to do like a small clothing line for LunchIn.
For LunchIn, like it was never about ibuylocal or
Yeah.
anything at all. It was just like that. He came to me to have me as a supplier for his business to make some shirts. But once he actually threw that phrase, that ibuylocal, it's like hits me really hard. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is something that we can really, like do something about to connect people and create the awareness of buying local. What it means to buy local, be local. Most importantly, I think live local. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny how things stock rolled. So when I first came to him, the initial thought was I don't want anything branded, but then when I said the phrase kind of hit off. And when we were first talking, it was initially just us saying, I wonder if we get 100 of our people within our network just to buy the shirt. And we spend a day, go downtown, have a little party, invite a DJ, maybe have some food there, and then just have everyone get together in one spot wearing the same shirt. We're like, wouldn't it be cool then? And then when everyone's having a good time, we say, pause for a second, let's go walk down Water Street and just spread the message. So you can just picture in your head, what would it look like with 100 shirts just walking down Water Street with this message?
Same message.
Right? Yeah, popping into stores, trying to get engaged with some of the business owners. And as we started talking more and more about it, we started realizing, this is even more than just a bunch of friends getting together to do the thing. Like, what if we had a day dedicated to having some sort of an event? And this is where we started meeting with more and more people, and the more and more ideas that we had thrown around. Before we know it, we were at a multi-day festival, which is where we are now.
Wow.
So how long did it take for you guys to get to that one-day meetup right to a huge festival? Has this been months, years?
I really didn't put any thought into that, or I didn't see the time frame. How long do you think?
It just happened. I mean, well, we met in August, and then, reconnected in August. And it was probably every other week, because I don't think you took me seriously at first.
No, I
Because I just wanted to get 50 shirts.
He just wanted like 50 shirts. I said, this guy, okay. And now, whatever.
I'm dealing with minimum orders 300.
Yeah, then I was working in a project with Common Ground, and I said, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's make this guy too, or his 50 shirt that I can add to that other order. So I reached out to him, and then he just when he says that, I said, no, this is not about shirts. This is not about business. This is not about just something, this is bigger than this. This is a message. So clothing is a canvas to showcase our messages.
Which I guess is a lifestyle, really.
It's a lifestyle,
Yeah.
So it's like to inspire people, to encourage people.
Yeah.
And whatever the positivity or the message you have in you, just put it out there.
Yeah.
So we see this in our way to whatever we can do
So,
to create that.
because I know Holly and I have got a bunch of questions about the idea and so forth.
Yeah.
But there's a question that's chomping at the bit for me, is why is this so freaking important to you? Without getting into the idea of it yet, but why, because I'm already sensing the energy going,
Yeah.
right? Like it's palpable, right? What drives you about this notion of I buy local?
So I'm gonna take that lead.
Yeah,
on this. So
I'm probably going in the same direction, but I'll let you lead.
absolutely, I think that like for me,
Yeah.
like my story, coming from nothing, from my country to being in here,
Yeah.
and having this conversation right now, to
Yeah.
me is my success, you know. And what leads to the success is the connection, is the strength of difference, meeting different people, you know.
The strength of
The
difference?
strength of difference. It's like meeting different people who led to me be here.
Yeah.
And this could be going somewhere else, right? So this was really fascinating that bringing people together, regardless of their beliefs, sex, religion, creed, anything at all.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really important. I mean, on that, like with the strength of difference, we're all different, whether it's our race, our beliefs, our values,
Yeah.
Our
you know,
skills.
our skill sets,
Yeah.
and with that difference comes strength. And where we rally together is like, what's that connecting point, right? And one thing that I've always found through my experiences is the things that have come through and have been most, I guess, impactful in my life is when there's something with a collection of people that there is something they connect with. And that power of connection of bringing people together,
Absolutely.
like that's an amazing thing. Like I'm getting shivers now just even thinking about
Me too.
the differences and the connection. So if you look at it, different,
Yeah.
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 same.
Yeah.
Right? So, and where we look at it, I mean, if you look at the economic situation in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
So, right now, and just before I dig into that, I buy local, we're in Newfoundland right now, but this is a global message.
Yeah.
So, wherever we are, we're local, right? And that's how we see the business and where we're going. But with regards to Newfoundland itself, like, and I love what you said, and I'll say it again and give you credit to it, where Newfoundland Labrador on a Mercator map, so the spread out, you know, page of map, Newfoundland Labrador is right in the center. So we believe global message, you know, if what we're trying to do is promote that, but we're here, like we believe and truly, honestly, that Newfoundland Labrador is the center and should be the center of showcasing the world what it means to be a bilingual.
Yeah, like I would say, this is like a movement we're
Yeah.
creating, you know,
Yeah.
and it starts from here. And I think we are at the very edge, and beautiful things happen, you know.
And this is the thing, the shared piece is for sustainability of any, I guess, economy, is it includes money, the exchange of money.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
the more money that is spent in a local business, i.e. a business that's owned, operated, and registered in Newfoundland, the more money that goes to the provincial government. And the beautiful thing about this is, you know, we talk about how government are you know, we always want our government to fix our problems, but I mean, they can only do so much. So what if together with our dollars,
Absolutely.
we can decide on what the sustainability of our province is?
Do you want to tell that the data that how much the
Oh.
downtown businesses pay to the government like each year?
Yeah, so right now I think, and that number's gonna escape right out, but $17 million of the 275 businesses just downtown
Just
alone
downtown alone.
goes to the local economy, to the
Oh, wow.
government in taxes and fees and
How many
things of that sort.
businesses was that again?
275. So
275.
that's just downtown within, you know, the.
For 17 million is what you just said.
Yep, and
Yes.
that's.
275 businesses. It's not very much, is it? Like, when you think about the contrast of numbers, like it's,
Yeah.
it's huge,
It's
17
huge.
million, but it's not very many businesses.
Yes, so
To
if
do
we
that.
can like, you know,
In-
Yeah.
create
Yeah.
awareness and have more businesses and like,
Yeah.
you know, like get going, people is buying, you know, more from downtown.
And what I'm hearing is the impact that, you know, because they are local businesses, even if they're selling materials or content that, you know, is made elsewhere, they're local businesses
Yeah.
owned and operated, and the money is going into the local economy.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that's a big thing a lot of people don't realize. You know, you go to Walmart, you go to Canadian Tire and those kinds of places, those big corporations, and maybe you're saving $5 or $10 on that product, and maybe it would have cost you a little bit more at the local, you know, business downtown or wherever it may be. But it's going back in the economy, and really, everyone is benefiting at that point. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I mean?
helping
Like
the
it's staying
families
there.
that are from here.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and also I think that all the businesses downtown that employ, even some chain shops that
Yeah.
employ local people.
Well, that's the biggest thing, right? When you give more money to the local businesses, you're creating more jobs automatically.
Yeah.
And the thing too, like, that's another important part, because there's always this play between, you know, franchise versus locally owned operated. Like, franchise business is very important to the economy or just to society.
Yes.
because somewhere that's a local business in its own right, and it's important.
And also, I think that like people think local means it has to produce
Yeah,
locally.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a very misconception, I would say, because we don't have all the resources. You
No, we
know,
don't.
I cannot make like a car in here.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna drive.
Yeah,
You know, I cannot produce clothes in here because
Yeah.
it's gonna cost me $38 to make a shirt, and I cannot sell this $38 shirt to a person who is working on a minimum wage, right?
exactly.
So the business educator in me feels the need to set, because Holly brought up the idea of, you know, it might be a little bit more expensive locally, and that's usually the argument I hear about buying local. I'd rather, you know, go to the Walmart and buy nothing against Walmart.
No,
but, you know,
nothing against it.
But it does occur to me that if I spend a little bit more money on the local, it's staying in the system and it comes back around to benefit me. And we were talking about this the other day about every time that we spend in a company where the majority of the money leaves, we're bleeding the system. The blood is leaving the system. So if I spend locally and if I have to spend a little bit more doing that, the money stays in the system and comes back around to me.
And one thing that I would say, I mean, what I look at is, you know, even with the message and trying to promote it. I mean, initially for me, we talk about the challenge. Like, quietly, you challenge someone to buy local. It's like, I buy local, do you? Almost.
It's like a silent challenge.
Yeah, and I think even for my business, when I'm wearing this shirt, like, we don't buy a local product for the ingredients and the lunches that we use, but now that I'm promoting this message, it challenges me more. Like, I need to think and be more local,
source more.
especially understanding that value. So that's really important. But remembering that, you know, we're still going to go to Walmart, we're still going to go to Canadian Tire, we're still going to go to the Subway and whatever. But if we spent $100 a month on those stores, why not spend $5 going to a Jumping Bean or a Rocket Bakery or you know a Bee's Knees or a local business where, you know, it's not even the product that you're going in for, it's part of it, but go in and experience the owner behind the door, to hear their story, you know, hear why they're in business and why a lot of the businesses that are downtown that have been there forever believe in the value of what it means to be downtown. Like we are where, and I'll quote Galen Lambert from downtown St. John's, which she always says, is like, this is where shopping started in North America.
Yeah.
We're like one of the oldest cities in North America.
Yeah.
This is where commerce began. So let's celebrate that. And you know, downtown is historical and cultural. So that's what we need to celebrate. And that's
On the head.
and that's what this message promotes: is go inside, buy local, spend $95 elsewhere, but take $5 or $10 or whatever is within your budget, and just go and meet an owner, talk to the owner, buy a product.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not necessarily great
Make
at
the
that.
human connection.
Yeah.
You know, like go talk to and know the owner or like know about the business. I think lots of people ask. I'm from outside, right? Like I came here, then I learned the language, the culture, the people. So I think lots of people don't know what downtown has to offer. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're trying to promote, even with the festival. Like we have a shirt, we have a canvas that we're trying to promote this message on, but to experience it, we need to create activity to get people around to share it. Like it's great if we just sell a shirt and people buy it individually and wear it around. But what if we can get again back to 100 people, what if 500 or 1,000? Imagine 10,000 of the same shirt downtown, for example, on a day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the vision where we're like, it's the sameness, but the difference. Not just in our race and the color of our skin, but in the way we think, the things we value, you know, the things we buy are different.
Remember, like we had this conversation before that the way I see this festival is like it's a celebration of our differences together. You know.
Do you guys want to touch a little bit more on the festival? Because I feel like anyone who may be watching right now don't know everything me and Barry know. So do you guys want to give a little bit of a brief introduction? I know you kind of mentioned it a little bit before, but talk a little bit more.
Yeah, no, of course. So fast track from our 100 people at a party with a DJ. We basically expanded that to now we're outside of a room that we rent to now Water Street. And really the idea, again, is to create that experience, get people together, celebrate differences, experience the power of connection, and really do that in a way that focuses on commerce. So like any other festival, we're gonna have artfulness, we're gonna have experienced performers, artists, so on and so forth. But what we want to do, the ultimate goal of what we're trying to accomplish, is to get people to go inside the doors of the businesses down Water Street. So what we're trying to accomplish now, there's things we're working with on the city of trying to figure out what the actual, geography of this is. But you can picture like a current area that we're working on is like Beards Cove, where the courthouse is.
Yeah.
So there's a really cool section there that we could light up and focus in on by treating it as a hub. We almost think of like the heartbeat of this. So that's where the activity will happen, constant pump, and then we promote people to come down for this. And that's something we're looking to close down for an entire Saturday. So from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. With an initial focus on this heart to have almost like a mini concert area where later that night we'll be having what we're calling a Yes By, B-U-Y, Yes By concert, where it'll be all local performers. So the intention is to give those an opportunity that may not necessarily have had a platform to showcase their art, showcase their skills, all this kind of stuff, to get that opportunity. And then around that, build the experience. Well, throughout the whole day we have a dynamic of different performances and shows, I guess, going on that stage. But then as you push it out a little bit, think of Water Street. We want to, again, activate those that may not necessarily be downtown, but provide some value there. So think of like farmers market vendors, where it's more complementary. So there's a lot of empty buildings downtown right now.
So we are trying to fill the empty businesses. So we'll bring vendors from outside, and let's say that there's a 2 or 2 like where I was before. It's an empty building, and it's vacant for a while now. So how is going to look like to see full Water Street full of vendors, And the vendors is already in there. They will have their sidewalk sale. They'll come from and have their sidewalk sales.
It's interesting to me because, you're still working on the logistics and the mechanics, and you don't know the geography of how, physically large this thing could and will be. I'm a big believer that, set it on fire and see how big it gets, right? Manage it.
Yep.
But it sounds to me, like I keep reminding myself that buying local, we tend to always go back to going into a local shop and buying a local piece of merchandise and stuff. But that goes for musicians. Going and seeing local musicians is buying local.
Yep.
I'm a speaker. Going and buying local speakers. That buy local does not mean, well, I went down to Newfoundland Chocolate Company and bought a Newfoundland chocolate.
Yeah.
It means, did I hire that local musician who's phenomenal? Did I hire that speaker? So it sounds to me that you're trying to create this space where it's celebrating buying local food, buying local coffee, buying local shirts, and getting people to think consciously of my choices. Like I just automatically sometimes just presume I'm going to go to Walmart, right, to get T-shirts. Well, why am I consciously thinking that? So I'd like to explore a little bit more about how you envisage this thing happening, fully knowing that this thing is evolving. So, but getting a sense of what you imagine this thing to look and feel like, whether it's one cove or whether it's an entire street, whatever.
I feel like once you throw the festival, as like you said, it's pretty well celebrating the local businesses and getting people engaging, which is what you said the whole concept was. I feel like it is going to change that perception that you just said, that first thought of, I should go to Walmart because it's cheaper. I feel like once you have a connection with an entrepreneur, a local business owner, and you hear their stories, you start to wonder, what's the stories of the other local business owners, Like maybe I should just go down and check it out first.
Well, and this is really, there's a couple of great initiatives happening and businesses happening to try to promote more local, like Kim Todd with Guide to the Good, for example, looking to promote local business with, they've got a fully developed website, greenrock.ca, and basically the intention is to promote, but also give avenue to click, buy, whatever. Also, Lynn Guppy with Guppy's Gift Ideas.
She's doing amazing work.
Yeah, and it's creating that natural connection. And yourself with this program, which is amazing, and trying to get that story on the other side, I think is incredibly important. And what we're trying to do, again, we talk about ibuylocal as a brand, is we're building the table to give people like almost like an unbiased third-party view of here is the message we want to push into the world, but we need a ton of help.
Yeah.
So who also believes in this message that can get around the table?
The way I see, like I haven't told this to you yet, but the way I see the whole thing is like we have enough resources, we just don't know how to manage it.
Yep.
You know, like we have enough resources, like we have everything.
Oh, that's a good point.
We have so much talent just in here. I think this is
Yeah.
the most talented, like full of talented people in St. John's that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like we have so many artists, but how do we manage them? How do we, make the connection with them? So this is something that I think
And how do we get outside of our own heads of thinking the only way we can be successful is in St. John's or on George Street from a performer's perspective? Whereas what we're trying to do, again, made local. We are a Newfoundland company, ibuylocal, but we're a global message. And how can we help to portray that message even to local performers to say, let's get ourselves out there.
So the Field of Dreams guy in me, I don't know if you've seen the movie, but build it and they will come. Again, I'm thinking in terms of people who might be watching. Given the fact that you can't get specific about the exact logistics, give us a feel of what the concept, the experience will be like. Because there's probably going to be people watching here that might say, I want in on this, I want to help this. But give us a sense of conceptually what you've got in mind.
So, I guess, let's put in terms of if you were to come to the festival. So anyone, so one of the things that we are working towards and promoting is the idea of inclusivity. Because basically everyone is different in all their forms. So there's no ticket to get in. It's not like a George Street Festival where you can't get in unless you pay your money. So anyone can come down. But let's put it from the perspective of what we're trying to do. Sameness. Everyone's wearing the same shirt. So we sell these shirts for $30. And if you were someone that was to buy the shirt, come down to the festival, what this will give is almost like an all-access pass to extra experience. So picture yourself buying a shirt, coming down to the festival, and when you arrive on Water Street, kind of what we were talking about, you look down and you see sidewalk sales of some of the local businesses, you have cafes of restaurants that are out on the street, you see market vendors in front of empty buildings, so you've got an activated street, which is amazing. And the intention is that we want to create that pedestrian feel. So safe for people to walk around, so you can bring down your family, bring down your friend, bring down your significant other, and just experience commerce on Water Street. So that's one side of it. And the other piece, because we're focusing on buying local, at all the participating businesses down Water Street, they're going to have a sign in their window that has a picture of this on it. And what that means is that if you see that, they've got something special inside.
If you're wearing the shirt.
If you're wearing the shirt.
Gotcha.
So that could mean from a special, maybe within the business there is a hyper-local product that they want to feature. So you can come in and let's say, for argument's sake, one benefit could be a discount. But it could be, why don't you come behind and see how this is made? Or let's say you're a restaurant and you want to feature an ibuylocal menu. Sit down and you get a featured special menu by being part of the tribe. You're wearing the shirt, you believe in this message, you're contributing to this overall goal. We've got difference, sameness, and you get to get a little bit of an additional connection. And even if I think of a place like Rocket Bakery, they have the capacity of do special events. So what if now with a pass you walk into the order room and they have a DJ playing? Well, you get closer access if you're wearing a shirt. You get it for free. These special little benefits.
Yeah, and also, do you want to touch base on the pop-up?
The artfulness? Yeah. So that's the main goal. Get people inside stores and come down and be like, look at all this activity. But down, let's use Water Street as the example. Down Water Street, in Central, you'll have different pop-up type experiences. So we look to have static kiosks, we'll say, which is intended to get engagement. So think of a theme like urban renewal in design. We'll have someone leading that, and then for anyone that's a festival goer that wants to come in and learn more about what it means, what urban renewal means, or maybe city planning, or talking about being a resident and being involved with that, then we'll have activities in those kiosks that get people involved. Further to that, so it's great, you come down, it's more than just commerce. We want some entertainment value, so that's where we're working with.
And we are not telling what it is.
We're not telling you what it is.
So, yeah.
Keep
So
that
it's a surprise
It's actually
experience.
for
But
someone that, and we also don't know that what's gonna happen
Right.
right now. And also like it's like a pop-up thing, you know. You're walking and someone is
something
like,
happens.
Something is
And,
happening.
and we know what's happening. Like we are choreographing the experience, but as a
You want to
festival
keep it exciting
goer,
and surprising.
you don't know what's going to happen. And the same for the stores. We're not going to tell you exactly what they feature. You got to go inside to figure that out. But there's going to be something special for you wearing a shirt.
So conceptually, if I get this right, the idea is that we've got the shirts. So if Thomas is recording here, and Holly and myself come down and wearing the shirts, there will be things that we can engage in, but everybody's welcome.
Everyone is
wearing a
welcome.
shirt or
Everyone.
not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's inclusive.
Yep.
And yet it is encouraging this notion that I think you and I were even having the conversation that you could almost imagine people walking down the street and they got the same shirt on, their high five, and it's like,
Slapping fives, yeah.
I'm buy local.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And there's this notion, like some may be familiar if you drive, like a Jeep, for example.
Right.
The Jeep Wave, or like Golf Wave, like the cars that not a lot of people have, but you feel
Yeah.
that sense of connection.
Yeah.
I'm a Jeep owner. So I'm driving down, nothing better than when I see another Jeep coming the other way, roll down the window, hey. Or like a motorcycle, same thing. Just
It
so
doesn't happen with Hondas.
No, because there's a lot, you know.
So
You
I
just can't roll
guess,
down
I guess
your-
basically what you're hoping for then after the festival is you're hoping that you've created a movement and you've created a group. So I guess by the point that people buy these shirts, they're
Part of a
thinking the
tribe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're thinking the same
It's a part
same
of
way you
tribe.
guys
Then we
are.
have a voice to raise concern for the whatever matters, you know, like you just said, urban renewal. It could be green economy. It could be
Yeah.
Yeah.
bigger than something, you know. It could be a movement. It could be the thing is going on in Alabama for the women's things. It
Yeah.
could be anything.
Yeah.
And that's where we see the shirt now, because message the same, canvas color changes.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're trying to promote the message that people want. Where now we look at like the beauty about black and white, simple, the ultimate contrast, which again accents difference. But if we think about it, black is every color. So that kind of takes
That was deep.
to the next.
That was
Well, black is everything. Like,
Yeah, and there is an elegance about it.
Yeah.
And really, yeah, when it comes down to the real push is we're building
Yeah.
a movement, and a movement means that you have a tribe of people that believe in the same thing.
Yeah.
And with that, like what Sayed said, the power of numbers
Yes.
is really a big thing. So that's what we're hoping that we can accomplish, is that as people are connecting, as people are celebrating their
just
differences.
imagine, like we're thinking of bringing like 30 to 40,000 people in Water Street.
Right.
2 people we started, and now we have like amazing support. Even like just being itself in here.
Yeah.
Just imagine if we have that 40,000 people together working for the same goal.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Just think of the benefits of Newfoundland, say next year or the year after, if everybody got on the same boat that you guys are on right now and decided, all right, that extra $100 or $200 I have this month, I'm gonna go downtown
Yeah.
and I'm gonna spend at one of the local businesses, whether it's one of the restaurants, one of the retail stores, doesn't matter, it's still staying locally, and you are doing good things, with that 100 or 200.
And I like this
It's like-
notion of strength and differences. My brain works a little differently from times. It's always coming up with acronyms, but I thought strength and differences is knowing what side you're on. You know what I'm saying? It's like that, let's own this place, and I'm imagining, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. That's the strength and differences side.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining, a place where musicians can come and feel they're part of something, where families can come of all ages and feel they're part of something, where business owners can come and feel it, where artists can come and feel they're part of something, and it's something we can all, you said it yourself, bring something to the table, whatever that is. Even if I'm not wearing a shirt, I can come and support it. If I'm wearing a shirt, I can engage it, but it sounds very community-based, and it sounds very dynamic and very organic, and I like that.
Yeah, I see
And it will
them-
change.
Yeah, I see you guys. It's the whole concept of Socialight, which is why when I found out about your festival and what you guys are doing, I was like, man, I got to get in on that. Like, that's exactly where I'm going with everything. But it's about bridging the connection from the community to the businesses, because the businesses are struggling, they have their own concepts. And I know the community's struggling at this time, they have their own concepts, but when you bring them together and they can have that conversation and see it's really just two people at the end of the day, it's just, again, it's a lot easier to support and get under that I buy local.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like, the way I see it's like I cannot be like you for the rest of my life. How hard I try. I cannot be like Barry. And I cannot be like Thomas, obviously. Like
But
so.
you'd be like you.
Like, look, this beautiful thing is happening because all of our strengths came together,
Yes.
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
There's a
That's exactly it.
strategic value. I've always said that diversity is strategic, and that our differences can make us absolutely stronger. And differences can come in. You're a musician. You're a store owner. You're young. You're not so. That those differences come in all shapes and sizes. But what I'm hearing here is that the one thing that we can connect on is let's support locally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Whatever you buy.
And the beauty is not in the sameness. Beauty is in the difference.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you there.
Absolutely.
Everyone has their own unique.
Every single human being.
Exactly, and that's what makes people special. That's makes you stand out.
And I think the first time that we ever sat down and talked about because how long have you? Was it 2013?
I came in 2013.
2013. And I wrote a blog this week where I coined the term glocal, which means you buy local, but you're supporting a global movement to buy local. This notion that it's not choosing one or the other. You're not saying, that other place that if we all buy local, we end up supporting a global movement of prosperity.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, elsewhere, an ultimate goal of, depending on the type of business you run, is what if we could get into the export economy? And that's something we have not really traditionally thought of as a province, well, at scale anyway.
Yeah.
So buying, supporting local for that growth, but what if we could get it to a level where, to the global piece, is that local businesses here to St. John's anyway, are now selling in other parts of the world, and then...
And the local thing for me doesn't deny that we buy stuff. I mean, we've already talked about the fact that a store could be selling stuff from other parts of the world, but it's a store owned and operated here. Right? That's the difference. That I still want to be able to buy what I want to buy. I mean, if it can't be made here, I can't buy a car made in Newfoundland and Labrador. I get that, but I like the organic nature of this and how it's it's starting with the C, but there's this notion of local supporting local, but also it's a global.
Yeah, the world is a global village now, and there's only way to succeed is to collaborate.
Yeah.
Is to
And
work
we're
with
so
someone
connected.
else.
Never in a period in the history of time have we been so connected.
Yes.
But where we see is that this global connection has created such a disconnect with the people around you.
Yeah.
So how can we leverage what that global connection can do by being physically connected?
Yeah.
And understand that this massive power we have as a global village can be celebrated with a local experience. And that's kind of where we think about the idea of using festival events to bring people together and then kind of push that movement further by that global connectedness, which is amazing.
Do you have a timeline when you're planning on putting off the event?
Yep. July 26th is the kickoff day, so that's going to be our party night. That's Friday evening, and then the 27th is Saturday, and that'll be where we look to close down Water Street and kick up the festival. And then Sunday we're celebrating more of a downtown day, so our footprint on downtown will be a little bit smaller, but our push will be to get people to go and spend some time going into businesses. And it's going to extend right until the 1st of August, which leads right into George Street Festival. And that's another point I wanted to kind of talk about. But the idea is that we're kind of off hands at that point, but they still keep their signs with this shirt in the window so that people know that they can still go in and get value from it. To close out on why, where we kind of see the value that we add is there's a lot of stuff that goes on in St. John's and in Newfoundland throughout the summer. So we see our festival as almost a kickstart to what's going to happen. So we roll right into George Street Festival. Then Busker Fest is going to happen. Folk Festival. We've forgot about Regatta Day. A lot of cool events and festivals that are going to happen that we just promote and celebrate. Say, hey, look, here's what's going to happen. And by the way, some of those artists and performances you saw, maybe at Busker Fest or they may be at Folk Festival. Why don't you engage with them?
And we also have like a really cool opportunity because we are having 2 big cruise ships coming on Sunday.
Wow.
3,500 people
Yeah.
is coming in St. John's on Sunday. So we have the opportunity to showcase ourselves, like
Mhm.
what it's truly, means to be a Newfoundlander
What
and how
better
we
way to
live.
welcome them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
One of the things that occurs to me is that, oftentimes if I speak at a conference, I'm booked in to be the starting speaker to set the tone. You're setting the tone for a very busy season.
Yep.
That if you get people on point about buy local, and we've got regatta, and we've got the folk fest, and we've got everything,
Yes.
that you're kind of stirring the pot.
Best place to be in the world from July
Absolutely.
26th to end of August.
Yeah, I'm already excited about
Yeah.
that. I really am.
And this is it.
Yeah.
So if we are like kind of promoting everyone,
Yeah.
everything
Yeah,
locally
again.
that's happening.
Yeah, and that's where the beauty of where we see our message coming in is, we're that third party like table kind of coming in and say, hey, get around it. We're going to make this the best place to be in the world. To think and be and buy local.
Yeah, I think I had the conversation with you is like about how I can add value. So this is the value we're adding to the existing things that are happening already. It's not like a competition or anything. It's just like adding value, telling more information, bringing people together and saying this is happening.
Yep.
So I have one question, because I want to make sure we cover this for your benefit. Is there anything you guys need, your group, for organizing the festival? Do you need more sponsors? Would you like more entertainment to possibly reach out as far as music goes, or artists? Is there anything that you feel like you would be open arms for right now?
Do you want to go ahead? first?
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess you'll probably fill in the blank anyway.
Yeah.
But there's three major things that we need support with.
Okay.
First and foremost, although we're fairly successful with this so far, is time from people.
Yeah.
Whether that's to volunteer for an event, give some support on maybe a skill that they bring to the table that they could help provide value to the festival and the success of the festival. Whereas to Sayed's point is we want to provide value back. So
Yeah.
not just, promotion is great, but that's not the only platform we want to leverage. Is like, how can what we're trying to do
Benefit you.
yeah, benefit, and how can we do that? The other, you said like sponsorship. Luckily, with the group that we have, Fed had a bunch of entrepreneurial types have lots of success in doing things in the past. So we can do experiences at zero up to however much. But obviously, the $0 experience is not going to be as impactful as something at the upper end. So sponsorship to help that become a reality requires time for the coordination, equipment, rentals, infrastructure. All these things have cost to them. So getting sponsorship for that is huge, and we've got a number of different sponsorship levels that people can get engaged with. The other, and probably look at this more importantly, is because those two things are important, but the expanded network. So of all the people connected to the table, how can we push out to those networks to get our community, build our community stronger? Because then those other things will come through that.
Yeah.
So that's really the biggest piece.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
think you covered everything. I just want to say come down on July 26th.
July 26th.
Just come
Buy a
down.
shirt.
I think you
Buy a
guys
shirt.
should look in the camera
Yeah.
and just,
Come down on
Yeah.
26th, and we're gonna have a time.
Yeah, you can check us out at www.ibuylocal.tribe.ca. On there, you can buy a shirt, $30. You can pick it up at the YMCA or have it delivered to your door. Otherwise, follow us on Facebook at ibuylocal.tribe, or email us hello@ibuylocal.tribe.ca.
And we'll have all those links at the end of the video as well as in the video description, and you can find them on Socialight if you forgot, what John just said, and if you missed the end of the video or the description. So there'll be lots of avenues for you to find these guys and reach out in any way you can help. I'm sure they'll appreciate it, and our local economy appreciate it, and basically Newfoundland will appreciate it, and hopefully we can say globally it will be appreciated in the next couple of years. Or by the way you guys are going, I can see this being a big movement by this time next year, honestly, if you keep going the way you're
Absolutely. I
going.
mean, with the help of the people, 100% agree.
So we need your help.
Yeah.
That's all.
Jump on board July 26, 27, 28, the big mainstay of the festival. It goes on until August 1st, where you can get engaged with some of the businesses downtown.
So I got one very specific question, because I'm aware of this, and it's probably dangerous enough to ask this before we close out.
Yeah.
On Thursdays, are you having regular connection?
I'm glad you brought that up there.
Yeah.
So for anyone interested, we're running weekly community meetups, what we're calling, where we're going to be meeting at different businesses around downtown. Currently, we've been meeting at Rocket Bakery, so 5:30 on Thursdays. You can come down, join in the conversation, hear about what's happening, contribute to what the final festival will look like, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we put together a festival that everyone wants to have in St. John's and wants to be a part of. But yeah, we're going to run those weekly, and even after Festival Day, we want to keep the momentum going. So every week at a different business downtown, we're going to get everyone together to figure out how can we make St. John's and Newfoundland and Labrador be the center for what it means to be, buy, and think local.
And I missed last night because apparently you had one yesterday evening,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw out a challenge to, before Holly takes us out on the show. You know, my students just graduated yesterday. I didn't make it to graduation and so forth, but I've got students and former students who are business students that I think this would be a great project to engage in. It's
Yeah.
very business oriented, so whether you're currently working now or you're looking for whatever, this would be a great project to engage in and get connected to the business community. So if you're a business grad out there, whether you're working or whether you're looking for work at this point in time, I would suggest get involved in this. I'll be making it out to the next Thursday event, but I'm excited about this. This is a very, very cool idea, and kudos to you guys for, you know, taking the lead on this and bringing the people together. So, yeah, get on board.
Thanks for having us.
The bottom line is that we want people to engage this process. We're engaged in it. We've already, you know, kind of signed up. But there's a lot of people out there that really need to be on board with that.
Yeah,
So.
it's a powerful movement, and these guys are going to change lives, especially here in Newfoundland and Labrador. So any way you can support them or get involved and help out, I highly encourage you to. We'll all benefit from it. And I think that's it for episode 3 of Locally Vocal with Jon and Sayed of ibuylocal. And of course, thank you for Barry Louise Green of Epic Engage for joining me again. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Thank you.